My best recreation director was named Paul. I had met him at Club Med in Tahiti. He was entertainment director for the whole village. 750 people from all over the world. And he's responsible for the entertainment, whether it's the show at night, skits and shtick, or clowning around the beach during the day. I hired him on. He would have theme nights, like Waffle House night, where we'd come off the stage and he would have hired 12 bikini models from Hawaiian Tropic in Lakeland, Florida, and gone to the local Waffle House, rented uniforms, got menus. You would walk in and there'd be 2 lines of girls in these sickening orange and green uniforms, like corn dog waitresses, handing you 1-page laminated menus. And there was a huge buffet of all the worst American trash food you can imagine. Waffles, fries, hush puppies, tomato sandwiches, the kind where you gotta roll up your sleeves and put your elbows in the sink, so when you bite into it, the juice runs down your forearms and into the sink. Or we would have Arabian Nights, and there would be sand all over the floor of the dressing room. And he would have gone to a costume store in Omaha and come up with 8 outfits. Everyone would show up on the bus later with glitter all over their jeans. Holidays were particularly popular. Consider the Black Christmas tree. Getting ready for the tour, one of the recreational directors and half a dozen roadies are standing around trying to figure out what to do for Christmas, because we're going to rehearse through the holidays. Big soundstage, big enough for a blimp. They said, "Yeah, we're trying to think of what to do for Christmas." I said, "Simple. What's the biggest tree we can possibly get?" "Well, there's one place that Bobby knows has a tree that's about 45 feet. Now that's pretty fucking big. Really big. Count that 10 feet high is as high as a basketball hoop. 4 basketball hoops high, that's a pretty big tree." I said, "Super. Buy it and paint it black." I come back at 5:30 in the morning. Here's the recreational director wearing lawyer loafers and silk pants with a dozen roadies, 7 cases of black spray paint, spraying a 45-foot tree. We used a forklift to pull it up and upright and stabilize it. I said, "Cool. He knows when you've been sleeping. He knows when you're awake. So be good for goodness sake. But what if you've been bad?" Eddie from Bensonhurst says, "Well, you get coal. You get a lump of coal." I said, "Great. Find enough coal and barbed wire to dress the entire tree, and that's what we'll put under it for presents." A day later, I have no idea where in Southern California, but they come up with lumps of coal the size of bowling balls. Dressed out the tree, wrapped it all in black barbed wire, hung red lights, and put a Jewish star on the top. This was recreation. In the wake of the specialists, the road crew got involved. Rudy, the guitar tech, invented the Later, kind of a fruit drink loaded with rum or vodka or something. We would have these parties, especially if you're playing multiple nights in a city, 2-3 nights at the local arena. After the first night, we'd have a big party. Then he invented super laters, because they'd make you later for the dance than you ever thought you'd be. We had to build them in a special road case, like 6.5 feet tall. It opened up like a closet, with 3 big sections containing 3 industrial-strength blenders, circuit breakers, a car stereo, mixing gear, disco lights, and ice buckets. It was called Raving, Roods, Libation Station, the biggest road case anyone had ever seen. And we'd set up a tent, open air, and have one rompin', stompin' barbecue. Everybody values their free time or their off time supremely because you work so hard when you're on the road. You develop what it takes to take you away, your passport. For me, I always take my bicycles or cross-country skis. Golf is very, very popular on the road. It's a meditational sport. You really drift away. You lose yourself in the art form. Not unusual to have 6 buses pull up in front of a hotel 5:30 in the morning, pending a day off, and 9 guys on the crew would get off the buses with full-blast golf bags, 2-tone golf shoes, a pair of shorts and jack boots, a headband, and $2,700 worth of golf clubs. You got to know all the cool golf courses all over the world. In Japan, the golf course outside of Osaka is super high-tech. You don't carry your golf clubs. Nobody does. There's a little track, like the railing at a dog track, and there are these little electric holding carts that are connected. You put the bag of golf clubs on the thing, and it runs down the track to the next hole. And there are attendants at every hole wearing white uniforms. Every hole has a drink stand and a food place. Or the course near Louisville, Kentucky, where a farmer built himself a pitch and putt, 3-par out on the great rolling hills. There's a little shack with a coffee can. It's 50 cents to play the holes. It's another 50 cents if you rent one of the clubs. There's a dozen clubs leaning against the wall. There's nobody there. He's out cutting hay rows. There's a little sign, handwritten, and it says it's on the honor system. One of my best pals on the road, Brian, runs the sound. He started running monitors and working on PA systems and sleeping in the back of vans on the first Bad Company tour in the early 70s. He knows every fishing area of every city, of every burg, of every village and hamlet in the free world. He's toured everywhere you can possibly think of. So he brings his poles and his tackle box. No matter where you pull up, you can look out your window at 8 o'clock in the morning on a day off. There's Brian, waiting for a taxi to take him over to the little river 20 minutes away, or over to a pond half an hour to the left. And he always came back with fish. We'd prevail in the kitchen to cook it up for him, or Big Ed would cook it. Everybody had a thing. We had one barbecue in the parking lot. Forget where it was. But some of the guys had played at a golf course and made friends with everybody behind the counter. Cool. Not only are you invited to come to the show, but we're having a little hang in the parking lot. Raving Roods libation station in full effect. These fellows who worked at the golf course showed up with a duffel bag, old used golf balls that had been dredged up out of the lake. So while some people are playing cards and others are watching TV, 4 guys over on the little hill underneath the streetlight are whacking golf balls towards the hotel. Okay, off the Buick, across the grassy knoll, and straight up into the stop sign. What was an extra attraction is that our friends, the folks who would come out to visit for a long weekend or a few days, would ask ahead, "Hey, I see on the itinerary that I'm going to be there for a day off. Is Big Ed cooking? We going to be out in the parking lot?" "Oh, yeah." "Great, because I want to help Ed cook." People would fly 2,800 miles into the middle of suburban nowhere and look forward to sitting Indian style in a parking lot at 3 in the morning. "So you guys are having a hang, huh? Can I help?" "Well, yeah, sure, because I want to help Rude mix drinks." About half the time you'd smell it before you heard it. You'd be in your room, you're just waking up, it's 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, and you'd smell ribs. You'd look out, there's 30 people milling around, sitting up cheap shit chase lounge and lawn chairs. Rudy and I celebrated our 22nd year of working together not long ago. We drank superlators. But, in a lot of places it's hard to find the pina colada mix, or pure Cuban cane juice, or Myers rum, not the 6-year, the 12-year. In a lot of places it's tough to find ice. So we self-contained. We built Raving Roods libation station. No longer were we dependent on the promoter to provide blenders. Each night would be a different drink depending on where you were. If you're in Georgia, peach later. So as the natives do. Somewhat. It reached a level whereby Rude, who had a lot of responsibilities on stage and stuff, would have to leave earlier for the hotel than the band in order to set up the station. So we'd have to hire extra union guys to finish his job for him. We'd put him in a limousine, send him off to the hotel to set up, loaded down with all the provisions that the promoter's caterers supplied. He would order up a bushel of peaches, cracked ice. It was come one, come all. The new crew guys, or some union guys, would say, "Whoa, what's with him?" They're watching a crew technician get into a stretched limo and take off before anybody else was finished. Who does he think he is? Hey man, that's Raving Rude. You'd walk into the parking lot of the room and say, "Rude man, you look a little tired tonight. What's up?" "Ah, damn it, I spent half the day trying to locate strawberries, but I got 'em." He'd been riding around in a limousine all day trying to locate strawberries in Kenosha. Rude looked like a defensive tackle. Perennial smile, always ready to do, always ready to go. Lots of want to. Atlanta peach superlator. So I guess we're using glasses instead of paper. Probably the best idea, Dave. We'd get moonshine in from this one particular truck driver. He'd show up with a case. That shit would take the wax off the inside of the cup. You'd be spitting out wax from a single gulp. You could strip the deck of a Boston whaler with that shit. You couldn't use normal paper cups because it ate right through them. And at these affairs were local radio people, newspaper people, promotions, police, paramedics, caterers, all kinds of people. If you got through 1.5 peach laters, everybody was the best of pals.